When we receive a gift, we usually say thank you. But what if it's impossible to tell your giver thank you? And what if the gift you received was the greatest of all? What would you do? As we finish this week's special coverage of organ donation in multicultural communities, we meet a very special woman whose life was saved by someone she never met. Now she says she's going to spend the rest of her life finding ways not just to pay her back, but to pay it forward. As a registered nurse, Kimberly Clayton loves to teach about health. In this small class she volunteers to do, she's talking about preventing diseases that lead to kidney and pancreas failure, and sometimes, for people like her, a life-saving transplant.
I got the call on July the 9th, 2011. I was actually at my job working, and they called me and told me that they have a donor. And the organs would be there when I get there. So I was like, are you for real? Are you serious? And I kept staying at the phone. I asked like 5 times, are you sure?
Of nearly 118,000 people on the transplant waiting list, 82% are waiting for kidneys. 64% of those people come from multicultural communities. Simply put, surgeons say, they are at higher risk.
For some groups in particular, some organ diseases are more common than in other groups because of disease prevalence. So, for example, as we know, in African Americans, there are some groups that have very high blood pressure problems, difficult to control blood pressure problems. In other groups, such as Hispanics, if they're obese, their diabetes is much more difficult to control. And both of those problems, high blood pressure and diabetes, are the 2 most common causes for people having kidney failure.
Kimberly remembers the wait for an organ was hard for her as well as her children.
Going through the motions, but still having to now have my children involved, because there were times where I was too weak, too sick to even take a bath. So my daughter had to bathe me.
Roles reverse sometimes, and when they reverse, you're going to have hard times. She's not going nowhere. I'm not going anywhere, so I'm always going to have her back. So for me, jumping into the role was not a problem. What she couldn't do, not a problem. I have her back. I had it for that moment, so look at her now. Unstoppable.
Only 2 days after her transplant surgery, Kimberly looked like a new person. She acknowledges that before her diagnosis, she was not an organ donor. The 20-year-old woman who saved her life by saying yes to organ donation also changed her life. In addition to the volunteer work she does to encourage organ donation, Kimberly has dedicated herself to nursing education. She just graduated from a nurse practitioner program and will immediately begin her PhD nursing program. It's about honoring the person who gave her the gift of life.
I truly want to make my donor proud.
Kimberly Clayton sends information through a private, confidential process to share what she is doing with her donor's family. She cannot tell her donor thank you for the gift of life, so she will pay it forward by telling everyone else she meets for the rest of her life. What an inspiration. Of course, to learn more about being an organ donor, go online to donatelifeflorida.org. We've posted a link on our website, newsforjax.com. Only takes a couple of minutes, and you literally can save so many lives.